Hello all, welcome to the next session on storage area networks. So in the previous video session we were discussing on the cloud computing chapter. So in the previous session we discussed the cloud service models, the cloud deployment models, cloud computing infrastructure, right? And so in today's this video session let us discuss what are the cloud challenges and the cloud adoption considerations. So videos in the previous sessions we had discussed what are the cloud enabling technologies, the characteristics of cloud computing, the benefits of cloud computing, and the cloud service models also. So in today's videos let us just understand what are the cloud challenges and what are the considerations we need to think of when we are going to adopt the cloud technology, right? So what may be the challenges of using cloud computing? Okay, let us go through that. So cloud computing challenges or the cloud challenges, there are two major challenges while implementing or while using the or while adopting the cloud. First is the challenges for the consumers and the second is the challenges for the providers. So let us see what we mean by challenges for the consumers. If the business critical data moves to a cloud model other than on-premise private cloud, consumers can lose absolute control of their sensitive data. So that is a huge challenge for the consumers. That is, if the business critical data moves to a cloud model other than an on-premise private cloud. So private cloud, we know that it's very secure. We can rely on it to store the very sensitive and very personal private information over there. Whereas while using a non-private cloud, okay, so if the business critical data moves to a cloud model other than an on-premise private cloud, consumers could lose the absolute control of their sensitive data. So this is a huge challenge for the consumers because they may not actually trust on this cloud service to handle their sensitive data, which because it is not on the premise where the consumer is and it is not a private cloud. So that's a huge challenge. Cloud service providers might use multiple data centers located in different countries to provide the cloud services. They might replicate or move the data across these data centers to ensure high availability and low distributions. Consumers may or may not know in which country the data is stored. This is also a huge challenge. So the cloud service provider may store the data or they might use multiple data center across multiple countries in different countries to provide the cloud services. So if not the actual data, the replicated data, the replica of the data may be kept in some other data centers in some other countries to ensure high availability and low distributions. Now the consumers may or may not know in which country their data is stored. So that is what the Indian government is actually focusing on. So they are about to bring a policy where the data of the Indian consumers or the Indian citizens should be stored in Indian data centers only. So that is because there may be some very critical information which may be stored in some other country which may misuse it. So that is a huge challenge. So cloud services can be accessed from anywhere through a network. We all know that. So cloud service, we just need a network to access a cloud service. However, network latency issues increases or the network latency increases when the cloud infrastructure is not close to the access point. A high network latency can either increase the application response time or cause the application to time out. This can be addressed by implementing stringent service level agreements or as SLAs as we can call them with the cloud service providers. So we need to ensure that a high network latency or a best network is available to access the cloud, or else there may be very high network latency that can increase the application response time or can cause the application to time out. If the network is not having sufficient bandwidth, there may be a chance that you may not be able to access the cloud applications itself. So that's a huge challenge. So that is one more challenge to the consumers. Cloud platform services may not support customers' desired applications. For example, a service provider might not be able to support highly specialized or proprietary environments such as compatible operating systems and preferred programming languages required to develop and run the consumer's application. So cloud service providers or the cloud platform services may not support all of the customers' desired applications. That's also a huge challenge. Another challenge is vendor lock-in. The difficulty for consumers to change their cloud service provider. Now, suppose a consumer has subscribed to a cloud service for 1 year. So, after 2 months of using the service, the consumer may feel that the service is not up to the mark and they may want to shift to some other service provider, but that may not be possible because of the vendor lock-in. For 365 days or for whatever duration the consumer had subscribed the service for, so that may not be possible to actually move those subscription to some other vendor. So that is a very huge challenge. A lack of interoperability between the APIs of different cloud service providers could also create complexity and high migration costs when moving from one service provider to another. So there is no proper interoperability between the different cloud service provider. Rather, there is a huge competition between the different cloud service providers. So that causes the difficulty for the consumers to change their cloud service providers because of the vendor lock-in. These are the challenges for the consumers. So first challenge is consumers could lose the absolute control of their data or of their sensitive data, right? So second huge challenge is consumers may or may not know in which country their data is stored. The third huge challenge is the network issue. A high network latency can either increase the application response time or can cause the application to time out. The next challenge for the consumer is the cloud platform services may not support all the applications of the consumers or all the consumers desired applications. And lastly, the difficulty for the consumers to change their cloud service provider because of the vendor locking. So these are the challenges for the consumers while adopting or while using the cloud technology. Now let us look at what are the challenges they have for the providers, right? Cloud service providers usually publish the SLA or the service level agreement so that their consumers know about the availability of the service, the quality of service, downtime compensation, and legal and regulatory clauses. Alternatively, customer specific service level agreements may be signed between a cloud service provider and a consumer. Service level agreements typically mention a penalty amount if the cloud service providers fail to provide the service levels. Therefore, cloud service providers must ensure that they have adequate resources to provide the required levels of services. Now, all the cloud service providers are bound to these service level agreements, which specifies about the quality of service, availability of service, downtime compensation also. There may be some clauses which mention if the cloud services are down, they have to pay to the consumers as a compensation. And there might be some other legal and regulatory clauses. So cloud service providers must ensure that they have adequate resources to provide the required levels of services. So this is a challenge for the providers. Since the cloud service resources are distributed and service demands fluctuate, it's a challenge for the cloud service providers to provision physical resources for peak demand of all the consumers and estimate the actual cost of providing the service. So this is a huge challenge for the providers because the service demands are continuously fluctuating. Sometimes there may be very huge demand for the cloud services and some point of time there may be no demand at all. So it's a challenge for the cloud service providers to provision the physical resources for peak demand of all the consumers and estimate the actual cost of providing the services. Many of the software vendors do not have a cloud-ready software licensing model. The cloud software licensing complexity has been causing challenges in deploying vendor software in the cloud. This is also a challenge to the consumer, right? So many software vendors do not have the cloud-ready software licensing model, because of which it may cause challenges in deploying vendor software in the cloud. Cloud service providers usually offer proprietary APIs to access their cloud. However, consumers might want to have open APIs or standard APIs to become the tenant of multiple clouds. This is a challenge for the cloud service providers because this requires agreement between the cloud service providers. So generally, the cloud service providers, they offer their own proprietary APIs to access the cloud service, but the consumers usually demand for the open APIs or the standard APIs using which they can access the cloud services from different vendors. This is a challenge for the cloud service providers because this requires generating or this requires agreement among the cloud service providers. So what are the challenges for the cloud service providers? First challenge is there is a fluctuation of demand for the cloud services. So it's a challenge because the cloud service providers need to provision the physical resources for peak demand of all the consumers and estimate the actual cost of providing the services. That is the first challenge. Second challenge is cloud service providers are bound by the service level agreements. So therefore the cloud service providers must ensure that they have adequate resources to provide the required levels of services. Many software vendors also do not have cloud licensing, cloud ready software licensing model, which is also a huge challenge. And lastly, consumers demand for open APIs or the standard APIs, where the providers they generally go for or they opt for proprietary APIs. So that is also a huge challenge. So these are the cloud challenges. There is a bunch of challenges for the consumers and a bunch of challenges for the providers as well. Now let us look at the cloud adoption considerations. So these are the things we need to consider. First thing is selection of a deployment model. What type of deployment model should we adopt? That is the first question. Second is application suitability, whether the cloud supports the consumer's application. That is the second consideration. Third consideration is financial advantage. Which cloud offers or which cloud service offered at a competitive rate? So that also needs to be considered, the financial advantage. Selection of a cloud service providers. So which cloud service provider to actually subscribe to? So what is the advantage? What is the competitive advantage of selecting a particular cloud service provider over the other? And lastly, the service level agreements. Let us look at each of these cloud adoption considerations in a bit more detail. First one is selection of a cloud deployment model. Risk versus convenience is a key consideration for deciding on a cloud adoption strategy. This consideration also forms the basis for choosing the right cloud deployment model. Public cloud is usually preferred by individuals and startup businesses. For them, the cost reduction offered by the public cloud outweighs the security or availability risks in the cloud. Small and medium-sized businesses have a moderate customer base, and any anomaly in the customer data and the service levels might impact their business. Therefore, they may not be willing to deploy their Tier 1 applications such as online transaction processing or OLTP in the public cloud. A hybrid cloud model fits in this case. The Tier 1 applications should run on the private cloud, whereas the rest critical applications such as the backup, archive, and the testing can be deployed in the public cloud. Enterprises typically have a stronger customer base worldwide, so they usually enforce strict security policies to safeguard critical customer data. Because they are financially capable, they might prefer building their own private clouds. So these are the considerations. So risk versus convenience is the key for considering selecting a particular deployment model. So generally, startups or the individuals they prefer the public cloud, whereas small and medium-sized businesses, since they have a very limited customer base, any disruption in the in the services provided might impact their business. So they can go for hybrid cloud, where they can run their Tier 1 applications such as online transaction processing in private cloud, and they can run the less critical applications such as the backup, archive, and testing in the public cloud. Whereas large enterprises typically have a strong customer base worldwide. So these enterprises or large enterprises, they enforce strict security policies to safeguard the critical customer data. Because they are financially capable, since the large organizations have sufficient financial resources, they might prefer building their own private clouds. So that is the selection of cloud deployment model. Depending upon the type of organization or the individual, they can either go for public, small to medium sized business they can go for hybrid cloud, and large enterprises they can build their own private cloud. Let us look at the second adoption consideration that we need to make, that is application suitability. Not all applications are good candidates for a public cloud. This may be due to the incompatibility between the cloud platform software and the consumer applications, or maybe the organization plans to move a legacy application to the cloud. So not all applications are good candidates for a public cloud which might be due to the incompatibility between the cloud platform software and the consumer applications. Proprietary and mission critical applications are core and essential to the business. They are usually designed, developed, and maintained in-house. These applications often provide competitive advantage. Due to high security risk, organizations are unlikely to move these applications to the public cloud. These applications are good candidates for an on-premise public cloud or on-premise private cloud. So proprietary and mission critical applications, which are the core and essential to your business, are usually designed, developed, and maintained in-house using on-premise private cloud. Non-proprietary and non-mission critical applications are suitable for deployment in the public cloud if an application workload is network traffic intensive. Its performance might not be optional if deployed in the public cloud. Also, if the application communicates with other data center resources or applications, it might experience performance issues. So, application suitability: if you are running proprietary and mission critical application, it's always best to go for on-premise private cloud. Whereas if the consumer are working with the non-proprietary and non-mission critical applications, so they can go for the public cloud. So that is one more considerations while selecting a particular cloud deployment model. Let us look at the third consideration, that is a financial advantage. A careful analysis of the financial benefits provides a clear picture about the cost savings adopted in the cost savings in adopting the particular cloud service or the cloud deployment model. The analysis should compare both the total cost of ownership and the return on investment in the cloud and environment and identify the potential cost benefit. So a careful analysis of the financial benefits provides a clear picture about the cost savings in adopting a particular cloud. So this analysis should compare the total cost of ownership as well as the return on investment in the cloud and the environment. While calculating the total cost of ownership and the return on investment, organizations and individuals should consider the expenditure to deploy and maintain their own infrastructure versus cloud adoption costs. While calculating the expenditures for owning infrastructure resources, organizations should include both the capital expenditure and operational expenditure, network equipment, real estate, and so on. So while computing or while performing the analysis for the financial advantage, the organization and individual should consider the expenditure to deploy and maintain their own infrastructure versus the cloud adoption cost. So they need to make a comparison whether it is best to actually subscribe to a cloud service or whether it is best to build our own cloud. Whichever is beneficial in terms of financial advantage, better to go for that. So while calculating the expenditures for building the own infrastructure, so organization should include both the capital expenditure and the operational expenditure. It's not just it's one-time investment. There is also the maintenance cost that comes with it, along with the network equipment, the real estate, and so on. The OPEX include the cost incurred for power and cooling, personnel, that is operational expenditure as they can call it, OPEX. The operational expenditure includes the cost incurred for power and cooling, personnel, maintenance, backup, and so on. These expenditures should be compared with the operation costs incurred in adopting cloud computing. Okay, the cloud adoption cost includes the cost of migrating to the cloud, cost to ensure compliance and security, and usage of subscription fees. Moving the application to the cloud reduces the capital expenditure except when the cloud is built on premise. So the operational expenditure includes not only the real estate and the network equipment cost, but also the cost for the power, the cooling, the employing or hiring certain employees to look after the cloud infrastructure, the maintenance, backup, and so on. Now all these capital expenditure as well as operation expenditures should be compared with the cost incurred in adopting cloud computing. The cloud adoption cost includes the cost of migration to the cloud, cost to ensure the compliance and security, and the usage of the subscription fees. So generally moving to the cloud application reduces the capital expenditure except if we are using or building the cloud on premise. So that is a financial advantage. The next cloud adoption consideration is selection of a cloud service provider. The selection of the provider is important for the public cloud. Consumers need to find out how long and how well the provider has been delivering the services. They also need to determine how easy it is to add or terminate cloud services with the service provider. The consumer should know how easy it is to move to another provider when required. They must access how the provider fulfills the security, legal, and privacy requirements. They should also check whether the provider offers good customer service support. So the selection of a provider is important for a public cloud. The consumers, they need to find out how long and how well the provider has been delivering the services. So this is generally known from the other customers' feedback. They also need to determine how easy it is to add or terminate cloud services within the service provider. The consumer should also know how easy is it or how easy it is to move from one service provider to another when required. They must also assess how the provider fulfills the security, legal, and privacy requirements. The consumer should also check whether the provider offers good customer service or good customer service support. That is also very essential while selecting a cloud service providers. Consumers, the first thing that check is whether it offers a good customer service support. The last cloud adoption consideration is the service level agreements, or the SLA. Cloud service providers typically mention quality of service attributes such as throughput and uptime along with the cloud services. The quality of service attributes are generally a part of the service level agreement, which is the service contract between the provider and the consumers. The service level agreement serves as a foundation for the expected level of service between the consumer and the provider. Before adopting cloud services, consumers should check whether the quality of service attributes meets their requirements. So cloud service providers typically mention the quality of service attributes such as the throughput and uptime along with the cloud services. So in module 2 we are discussed, module 3 we are discussed uptime measured in terms of nines, right? So cloud service providers, they mention what is the throughput, what is the uptime along with the cloud services. The quality of service attributes are generally a part of the service level agreement, which is the service contract between the service provider and the consumer. The service level agreement serves as a foundation for the expected level of cloud service between the consumer and the provider. So before adopting a particular cloud service, consumer should check whether the quality of service attributes meets their requirement. So these are the 5 main cloud adoption considerations that should be taken into account before selecting a particular type of cloud service or a cloud deployment model. So in today's session we discussed what are the challenges of the cloud, what are the challenges for the consumers, and what are the challenges for the providers, and then we discuss what are the cloud adoption considerations. We discuss 5 considerations. First one is selection of a deployment model, application suitability, financial advantage, selection of a cloud service provider, and SLA, or the service level agreement. With this, let us conclude this video session on cloud computing. Thank you.